What if every single person was trying to have a wife and kids instead of chasing the one night stands, instead of being told that they shouldn't have kids and kids are awful, they're hard, or whatever, and make sure you use every single protection method necessary, not condoning not doing that, right? I'm just saying, if it wasn't thought of as such a bad thing, an awful thing, where partying is what you're going to miss out on, like that's what people always are saying, right? They're like, hey man, don't have a kid, don't get married, because then you're not going to be able to go party with your friends and hook up with guys or girls or whatever, right? And it's like, that's the thing. What if we started telling young adults that kids were awesome? They're the only thing you could take with you after you die, nothing else. Wives are amazing, the same exact thing I just said. And on top of that, they fulfill you and make you happier than anything else. Drugs, alcohol, sex will not fulfill you like a family will. Instant gratification, long-term gratification. You're not going to have any type of actual real fulfillment if you are just seeking the high. I have a big issue with this myself, of trying to go get that one just dopamine hit, whether that's mountain biking or dirt bike riding or sports or like any of that stuff. Prone to want that. Drinking. Never had a problem with drugs, but obviously a lot of people have a problem with drugs as well. Like, these are things that we try to go to, which only end up hurting us worse, right? It's like a self-destructive habit or pattern that we get into, where the reality is it's not going to help you, right? If you found a wife and your sole goal and mission was to find a wife that got you, understood you, loves God, aligned with you in your life, that you knew for sure the commitment was to get married, have kids, raise them in a godly manner, and go forth and multiply, right? And you knew for a fact she was never going to give up on you. She was fully in. She made you a better human being. If that was your goal, to find that, rather than spending your best years of your life from, say, 18 to 28 just partying, what if you found a wife in that time frame? What if you built memories with that person? What if you built a family in that time frame? What if you made the most extraordinary life ever with that person? Would this solve most of America's issues today? The answer is pretty simple, right? Yes. The people that don't have a happy life when they're married and whatever, it's they're chasing those instant highs and they're not aligned with their partner or significant other, or maybe they never wanted kids or whatever it is. And then also just what we're told from society, right, is, oh man, kids. Like, you hear people all the time being like, oh yeah, I got to go back to the ball and chain. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? That's your wife. You should love her, respect her, and never talk about her like that. Like, what you say becomes reality, and how you treat people becomes reality. You got to really be auditing your self-talk and how you're communicating, or like even just speaking to yourself on what you're saying about your wife and your life. For me, for example, I love my wife. I love my kids. I was thinking about it. I was doing Bible study. I'm like, man, like, a lot of people have a lot of stuff going on. And like, I've had stuff, but I really don't dwell on it. I can't say that I have not had a fantastic life and do not have a fantastic life, because I do. My wife is awesome. She deals with me, takes time to love me and understand me. My kids are great. I love them. Can anyone be annoying? Sure, I can be annoying, right? Like, but I don't ever tell anyone that I don't love and enjoy my kids. I don't love and enjoy my wife, because I do. They bring me far more benefit and happiness and satisfaction and a why in my life than anything else. More than work, more than friends, more than coworkers, more than partying, more than drinking, more than anything, right? I have more fulfillment in my life with them. If I didn't have them, I would be probably going to bars all the time, drinking, and miserable. I mean, I know that because I spent about a year and a half, 2 years doing that before I found my wife. And it was not a fulfilled time. Did I think I was depressed or unhappy or anything like that? No. I'm like, oh man, yeah, I'm having a good time. You don't really know how fulfilled and happy you can be in life when you can literally just hold your wife or son. I don't have a daughter, but I'm assuming it's the same thing. And just be like, man, this is like amazing. This isn't like a one night feeling. and it's an everyday feeling, and you have it for your whole life here and in the afterlife. That's something to really go for, right? So I think a lot of times we're told like, oh yeah, like, find the right partner, date people, hook up with people, do all this. Like, you don't know what you want. It's like, well, the reality is you only have to find one person that actually has a genuine just desire to be a servant to you, and you be a servant to them, and build your life from that out. If you do that, like divorce rates, all those things, when people are unhappy, it always becomes because we become selfish and we're not thinking about the other person that we married to put them in a better situation than they are in that current day. That doesn't mean totally neglect yourself, but guess what? There's also tons of benefits going through suffering and hardships. Not that marriage and children are easy by any means, but the development, the character, the growth, the happiness you get from them far outweighs the negatives. People that aren't that way, I can't understand, because for myself, and you talk to anyone that's like happy and fulfilled, most people will say that they are empty if they're just partying and not doing anything, and they're looking for what you have. I was thinking about this today. I was like, man, like I'm not like super rich or anything, but my life is so rich. It's crazy to say, but I was thinking that this morning, like I kind of got off topic, like my Bible study this morning, everyone's complaining about all this stuff going on in their life, all these things and like whatnot. Now I'm just like, man, like I'm so blessed. Like I love my life. Like, is there tons of issues in my family and other things that go on? Yes. But like, I totally feel utterly blessed. I don't get how I have such a good life with my kids, my wife, and it literally found me speechless and wordless when I was thinking about this morning. And I'm like, my goodness, like I don't know why I've been, blessed so much. I mean, it's not like I got blessed with a lottery and it's because of money makes me happy. It's like, no, I've been blessed with family. I've been blessed with stability there. I've been blessed with like certainty of knowing that my wife is there and deals with me and helps me grow to be a better person once and help and like aligns with me to be a better person, where she's trying to be a better woman. And it's like a collaboration there that's like, wow, I don't know where I'd be without her, but I'll say this, I would be in a much worse off spot. I've definitely been like depressed and down in the dumps before, but I'll say, and I mean, again, everyone's different. I don't have that very often. Before I met my wife, I don't know, maybe a couple times, like a handful since I met my wife. Maybe like one or two times. I know it sounds like, dude, what kind of drugs you taking, right? But it's like, I don't know. I'm just grateful. I'm always feeling good about like how amazing it is to have my wife, have my kids, be able to provide for them. Like I can't really vocalize it more than that. Is just, I feel so good to have a wife and kids, right? Like I don't imagine there's anything that I could be fulfilled about more. Like I have my business I've had where it's doing super, super amazing. I have when it's doing worse, and then neutral, right? Like I've had made more money in my career than a lot of people will make. And like that was fine and dandy and whatever, but I find more joy and happiness with my wife and kids than absolutely anything else. My fulfillment, my happiness, my everything, it's all from them. Like, oh my goodness, if you don't think that you need kids and a wife, I'm telling you, you do. It will be hard, but think of it all as a good thing. Don't think of it as a bad thing. The kid's crying and poops his pants and you got to clean it up. It's like, wow, I get to like literally shepherd this little life into a human adult that has to, be a God-fearing member of society. And that's my responsibility. And I take that like, kind of like Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Your goal in life, I mean, to me, I think should be your goal in life, right? Is to take a life and develop them into a great human being that you will actually see in the afterlife. You're not going to be able to take your boat with you, your car with you, your house with you, your 401k, none of that. Your wife, kids, yeah. Like if you are a Christian and you go to heaven and you all believe that Jesus died on the cross for our sins and that all is forgiven, and you are trying to be again, it's not works, right? And you're still aligned, you're trying to help other people understand that as well, then heaven is there for you, which is crazy thought that like we all have awful, terrible thoughts and opinions and everything where we don't deserve it, but it's not because we deserve it. It's because Jesus died and bled out for our sins as an ultimate sacrifice for us to go to heaven. That is so crazy when you think about it. Nailed, bleeding, dying to death. Whether you believe in it or not, like Jesus, like even if you don't believe in heaven or anything like that, like that was a real person. That's real testimonies to the fact that that happened to him. Even if he was like, even if you're like, oh man, no, he's not, he wasn't the Messiah, whatever. Like thinking about that, even in general, either way, if he died for you, even if he wasn't that, like who would you do that for? I'll tell you, I would do it for my wife and kids. And that's what the Bible talks about a lot is like you doing for others, everyone, not just your wife and kids, everyone. Like that's what Jesus did. Everyone, whether you hate people, don't like people, they cut you off, they curse at you, they're not a Republican because you're a Republican, whatever. Loving other people and showing love and mercy says like, go out and show love. And that's how they'll know that you are my follower through love. I struggle with that a lot is like showing that kindness and empathy sometimes. I mean, for the most part, I'm kind of more, I just not super talkative out in public. Not that I don't care about people or anything like that, but I'm very good at expressing that to my children and my wife. But like other people, I don't do that. I don't compliment people because I feel like they'll get uncomfortable or feel weird or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of a tangent there, right? But I mean, the principle I was getting at was like, I think it's easiest if you start to like, for me, believing in God, being like, wow, this is amazing. He's amazing. All this stuff happened for me. Wow, it's kind of overwhelming. And then trying to shepherd from the top down, doing that same thing for your wife and then your kids and really making a difference in the world through them, even if it's a small impact where you can impact, I don't know, say 15 people in your whole life. That's a huge difference. If you had 15 people like have the courage to chase after God and enter into heaven, imagine that impact for that person's soul, their eternity, right? And that's where I kind of started thinking a lot about this was like, man, I used to always say, hey, like, leave your stuff in your own house and let people teach whatever they want, whatever, like leave people alone, like teach their own, right? Like freedom of religion. Reality, if you love everyone and you really do care about their eternal salvation, you want to have them have that ticket to heaven, right? And you want to share the good word and you want to tell people about it. And if you have that belief and you have like, it's wild. Like I've been not atheist, but more super neutral years in the past where it was nothing like what I feel and do now. And there's just been certain signs and things that have happened there. But yeah, I mean, the moral of that story is like, what if we started preaching to people like, hey, go to church, get married, have kids, enjoy those kids, be outside, love nature, love your family, be a freaking man of your country or a woman of your country and lead and don't just sit in the darkness, sucked into a TV and literally just watch TV, play video games, go out and drink and sleep and go to work and that's it. That's a meaningless life. You have instant enjoyment, but then you have that doubt, that fear, that anxiety, that just not happiness in your soul, or maybe it comes about every week or month or 2 months or year or whatever it is. And guess what? A lot of times that's God. A lot of times that is that you are being called to be a husband or a wife and a father or mother. So you can actually create something and help them become a God-fearing person that enters heaven with you for the rest of eternity. And if that's not you, imagine if you felt like everyone was your family, everyone was your wife, right? If we loved everyone rather than hating everyone and not really caring about people and just being like, you know what? Like I need to really just turn up the energy there on how I am acting and treating and talking to others. It's going to be a huge difference on what you do, right? If you are not caring about people, and that's what you expect everyone to do is have no care in the world about you or others. Obviously, you're going to get depressed. How are you not going to be depressed if that's the world you think you live in, right? If you think the world's just evil, there's no God, everyone's just looking out for their own. It's a dog-eat-dog world. You die, you close your eyes and nothing happens. You're just gone. It's dust. It's whatever. It's like, that sounds empty and miserable, right? If you're like, man, there's life. There's all these things that are amazing, like a wife that loves you more than anything, that like helps you and shepherds you to be a better person and human being, kids that make you want to be a better person and work harder and do more. And all of those things will make you be more happy, more fulfilled. Like there's people that say like, oh man, don't have kids, don't get married. It's like you married the wrong person or you have the wrong attitude. Like maybe you are the root issue or cause there, and it's not your wife, it's not your kids. Maybe you are the problem. How are you talking? Are you eating right? Are you working out? Are you exercising? Are you going for your dreams and chasing your dreams? Or did you give up on that and you're blaming everyone else and being a terrible, miserable human being? It happens. I've been there. I think we need to really take a deep look at ourselves and be like, man, where am I and what am I doing right now? Because reality is most of us are so negative and looking at the news and that's it. When a lot of it can be solved by turning off our phone, dedicating ourselves to finding a wife that's the right fit, not just any fit, and treating it like a garden, right? And just nurturing it, caring for it every day, being a servant every day to that person, having kids. And you can't be a servant and they're not a servant back, right? So like that's the dating phase of like understanding, do they believe it? And understand, being very clear on like what you expect. Like, hey, I expect you like be a servant to me. I'm gonna be a servant to you, and blah, 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 right? Like that's what you're supposed to do, right? That's the whole calling is you love them unconditionally, they love you unconditionally, and you don't expect anything back, and they don't expect anything back. And then if you're both doing that, you're going to have an amazing life. And then if you have kids from that, oh goodness, like it's like a whole thing there of just love and unconditional love, and you just want to be there and hang out with them and do everything with them. And the more you do, the more you're outside, the more you're understanding that God created the family for a reason. Whether it's adoption, if you can't have kids or anything like that, right? Like there's a purpose there and it's going to make you feel happier and more fulfilled having a wife and kids than going to the bar and being a single bachelor till you're 65. And like people are, oh, that's awesome. It's like, okay. Like, so it's great for the time you're with them when you're doing the instant gratification, that instant pleasure. But what about when they're alone? We all know the loneliest people are the people that are alone, because you're alone. And that's what is not natural. We're called to group. And that's why people gather in cities rather than going and living out on farms. And some people do that. And some people are like, oh, I love that. It's like, yeah, you probably do love that. But guess what? You typically have a wife if you're doing that. You're not just by yourself. Some people are out there by themselves, right? And that's totally fair. But statistically speaking, we want to group up. We want to be with other people. We want to have that community and culture and tight-knit group that we can hang out with. So I challenge anyone to not listen to what society says that kids are hard, marriage is hard, and understand that it's a blessing. And anything worth anything is going to be hard, but it's worth it to yourself and your future kids and your eternal soul to challenge yourself to do that. Because you have one life, you might as well do it right. And the instant dopamine hits from drinking or drugs or whatever, video games, they're not going to be what makes you ultimately happy and satisfied. Having a wife and children and that fulfilled life of living by the Bible and trying to walk as Jesus did and love everyone will give you ultimate fulfillment in your heart. If you like this video, please subscribe. Trying to do little things like this, share it, do all that cool stuff.